Welcome to the acclaimed podcast, The Deep Dive, featuring your esteemed hosts, Andy Monitor and Drew Dinzik, powered by BetSperts.
Welcome to The Deep Dive. Andy and I are live in Las Vegas. We're not looking at the camera, I'm looking at the computer. We're at the Circa contest sign-up weekend, ultimate sign-up weekend. They are taking incredibly good care of us here. Gave us the VIP treatment, picked us up from the airport, gave us the early check-in. Like, really, cannot say enough positive things.
And I want to tell you this.
You're looking at the wrong camera. It's this camera.
It is that camera. Should we switch cameras?
Yeah,
Let's switch cameras. Actually, you know what? This is fun. Camera 2? Yeah, can we go over to camera 2?
Yeah, give me camera 2.
Give me camera 2. Oh, look at that.
Oh, look at this. Look at
It's
this.
even better.
All right.
Even better.
Yeah, we're here. They have a radio row set up. We are.
Wonder.
I know. I'm like, wait. Why is it so small?
Very dumb.
I thought it was much wider angle. Didn't you bring the widescreen? We talked about this.
Well, I was worried it was too close. That's why I moved it over here. Honestly, I think we could get away with it putting it here. Putting it here. Yeah, let's. So we're gonna do the tech live on air like this.
Yes. Okay. All right. Well, the important thing is we're here to talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Buccaroos. For my money, at least, the third most likely division winner after the Bills and Ravens. Maybe you could argue the second most likely. I would listen to that argument.
We talked about that a little off the air. We said, is there a case to be made for this being a better bet to win the division? Because I asked Drew right away this morning, what is the gap between the Buccaneers and the Falcons for you? And is it bigger than the Bills and everybody else? Because it's close, and we talk about the Bills being just free square. Bucs, even with the injuries, might be the free square. And we do have to mention, do not believe anything this says. The Circa people are full of shit. This is not $14.2 million. It is going to be much more than that. Yeah, but they don't know how much.
They're going to blow through that.
They don't know how much so they had to print this. I'm sure the legal team says you can't print $20 million, but we do think we're going to blow into the $20 million mark for the Survivor. So come beat us. I fucking dare you. And also, we've never used this mic setup, so if anybody's listening, if you want to tell us we're quiet, loud, or something, we did a little testing, but I think it sounds good. It looks good on the old Roadcaster Pro.
Excellent. I think we're good. Let's carry on, and let's talk about Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who, to answer your question, my gap is 4 points, and that is not quite as big as Bills over the rest of the AFC East, but that's more. Actually, it's pretty close now that I'm looking at it.
Yeah, it's not that different.
I think ultimately Tampa Bay very reasonably, again, like my rating honestly feels a little low relative to what it will be over the balance of the season, because the kind of story about this team as we start the season, number one, are you concerned at all about turnover of the offensive coordinator for the third straight year?
Yeah, we keep doing it.
And number two, are you concerned at all about the absence of some key pieces on the offense, namely I think we have to start with the left tackle, maybe one of the best, if not the best tackle in the sport, in Tristan Wirfs, who's probably going to miss the first 3 to 4 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
Chris Godwin, who we know is likely to miss the first 3 to 4 weeks of the season. And now McMillan, add him to the list of
8 to 9 weeks,
players. So, at full strength, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, to me, would have been the team that I think a lot of people would have been tapping as sort of the sneaky, under-the-radar, could win the NFC type of buzzy team this year. But with, again, the turnover of if they had kept Liam Cohen and they were at full strength with Godwin and Wirfs, I think this would be the buzz pick team to win the NFC.
And I think that's good for anybody who wants to be positive long on the Buccaneers, because Chris Godwin will return. Tristan Wirfs will return. Jalen McMillan will return at some point as well. And, maybe by that point, it's a middle-of-the-pack, slightly above team, and we end up with this, it's not the Eagles, it's not the Commanders, it's not the Lions, Vikings, Packers, whatever, whoever the elite is at that point, but they're doing that damn thing where they round into form late because they get everybody back. And if you want to take a silver lining to all the injuries, it ends up being kind of a boon for the rookie wide receiver, because he's going to get more reps than maybe he was expected to right off the bat.
Yeah.
And that could pay dividends later on in the season. like getting it because he's a stud. I mean, legitimately, he is definitely in the short list for offensive rookie of the year because he's going to have to take a bigger snap share than he thought we would. And if he works out right away, you don't just be like, well, we got to give that all back to McMillan when he comes back in week 8, 9, 10, whatever. It's like, no, you're wide receiver 2, you're wide receiver 2.5 at this point. He could absolutely put up some sick numbers in this offense. The offensive coordinator thing sounds like it sounds like continuity, the best you can get with it not being real continuity and being the same person. But it does sound like they're going to stick to the same game plan. They did promote from within, so I'm not terribly worried about this team. But there's certainly their problems. Josh Grizzard, the Grizzler, is your offense. I had to look him up in my notes. He third OC in 3 years, but he aims to retain Cohen's balanced system, is my notes, leveraging Mayfield's play action and the run game, which sounds great because that's what works. That's what works for this team. You have a absolute star wide receiver 1. You have you probably have 4 really good wide receivers in this team. You have a decent tight end, and obviously you have probably the best running back in the history of the NFL.
Yeah.
I'd say in Bucky Irving.
Easy call.
Yeah, I mean,
the wide receiver 1 point is fair, which is Mike Evans is getting long in the tooth. They drafted a clear stud. Godwin at full strength is clearly in the discussion for top 10 in the NFL.
Yeah.
You could convince me that by the time we get to week 18, those 3 guys could be in any order, 1, 2, 3 in terms of target share, and I really wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, Evans not playing 17 games seems pretty likely as well.
Sure.
He's picked up a lot of injuries. I'm not predicting a season ender, but he hammy, ankle sprain, he misses 4 or 5 weeks. It seems 50-50. It seems as likely as not that he misses some time. So having that depth and having McMillan getting the playing time he did last year and getting the playing time for Ibuka, that stuff's great. That stuff's great in the long run. That's a cool T-shirt.
You'll never know why. You'll never know what side.
Our lads is always throwing up the ad. So, 24 recap. 10-7, won the division. Had a weird bugaboo with the Falcons, but it was a good game against the Commanders, man.
It was a weird kind of general rundown to try to parse in a lot of ways. How do they go and just soundly defeat the Commanders? They beat the Lions as meaningful underdogs in the first 2 weeks of the season, and then you're like, oh my gosh, are these guys a sleeping giant? And then they promptly shit the bed against the Broncos at home before beating the Eagles. And then, lo and behold, I think everyone had in pencil, Eagles-Lions are probably your NFC Championship game. And the Bucs had beaten them both through 4 weeks of the season before losing in overtime to the Falcons and then losing 4 straight between the Ravens, Falcons, Chiefs, and Niners games to head into their bye week at 4-6. And what was very memorable for me last year is I'm pretty sure we were on the same page with this, where it was even though I remember very famously had a market high rating on the Falcons, it was this feels like the Bucs are a bet on to win the NFC South. And even at 4-4 and well behind the Falcons at their bye week, it was no, this is the better team. They are going to peak into their
and it was maddening. The rest of the season was maddening, even though it got there.
Well, the rest of the season was maddening, especially because you're God dang it, they're 4-6, but they're coming out of the bye against the Giants, Panthers, and Raiders. Those should all be easy wins, right? Well, you had to go to overtime to beat the Panthers, and then you get the Chargers, who you waxed, but you lose to the Cowboys. And was it Cooper Rush at the time? It had to be.
I think it was. Cooper Rush is good.
Yeah, and so you're just man, this should have been a win. They should have won in. And you almost lose to the Panthers. You drop this game to the Cowboys, and thankfully you rescued everything by just absolutely waxing the Panthers week 17, so that you didn't even really have to play the starters week 18.
This was probably my second best take of the year for victory lapping, behind Justin Tucker sucks, which I didn't know that had levels to it. But I said that at some point early to mid-season. I'm Liam Cohen head coach. Like, they're just going to keep pumping out offensive coordinators into coaches like the Niners did in DC. He ended up getting what's probably a decent job, and that stinks. But I think he did a really good job down the stretch, and even into the playoffs where they played a damn tough team. I wish they would have put up. I felt like they left points on the field in that game. They could have won that, but what are you going to do? Team of destiny.
Well, you tell me what happened there, because that was the Sunday night primetime.
Yeah.
Washington and Daniels' first ever playoff game, and the typical rules about the first time playoff debutante quarterbacks did not apply to Daniels. He was good in that game, not amazing, but he was very good.
It felt like we were very close to having Bucs Rams way deeper in the playoffs than we ended up. Obviously, the Lions upset maybe doesn't happen at that point because that was just a wild ass game. But it was a very, what do you want to say, level playing field in the NFC. When maybe didn't seem that way during parts of the season where the Eagles were so good. They ended up being just clearly the class, but it felt like there was a lot of teams that could play with each other, and it felt like the Lions were this step above, and it's funny, they didn't win a damn game.
Yeah, that's right. The Lions, I guess, being the most injured was maybe the asterisk.
Yeah, the defensive injuries for the Lions didn't help things.
But yeah, no, the prior year, the Buccaneers took care of business in the playoff wild card round against the Eagles, convincing.
Look at this. I did say Saquon is Barry Sanders. Remember that?
Yes.
I forgot. If you have any more things I got right, please by all means put them in the chat, because we get a ton of stuff wrong. It's so hard to predict everything.
But ultimately, I think the difference in performance in the playoff game in particular, Todd Bowles' defense relies on generating pressure, on getting the quarterback to make some mistakes. And not only did Daniels not make any mistakes.
What happens when you blitz?
Yeah, you leave your cornerbacks on up. And Daniels didn't make any mistakes. In fact, the Washington Commanders did not turn the ball over at all. Tampa Bay turned the ball over once, and it was a fumble lost by Mayfield. I'm assuming on a sack. I don't exactly remember.
I don't remember that game as well. I wanted to rewatch that.
It was a Sunday nighter. It was a Sunday nighter after a long day of football. That's it. I'm pretty sure I was traveling too, which made things difficult. But the fact that you couldn't turn over Washington was ultimately a problem. The fact that your defense was gettable. Right? I don't think anyone would put you're not putting them in with the other very terrible.
What did we just say? When you blitz that much, you leave your corners on an island.
Yes.
You don't have the strongest secondary, and that is a bit of a problem. There's some guys who can play, but it's clearly not a above average secondary. And if the blitz isn't getting home, and you have a quarterback and you have receivers who are, if he finds a hot route, if the receivers are flashing open early, you're just dicked. The plan ain't gonna work.
Yeah, and honestly,
to their credit, they didn't give up.
But these were shades of gray problems, right? This was your defense is not so suspect that we were worried about you underwhelming and not making the playoffs. It was just that once you got there, you just. You were going to let down to a team that maybe you were better than, even though you're at home. And that's effectively felt like what happened in that wild card matchup. So, I think Tampa Bay having their final game of the season be that loss, maybe off people's radars a bit. But they, at full strength, to me, are the clear class of this very weak division, and their problems are somewhat muted compared to the problems that exist for every other candidate for who could win this division. So, good problems to have.
Very good problems to have. Yeah, I don't have a lot more to say about 2024. It was a good year.
I bet every one of these games.
It could have been better.
It was a roller coaster.
Yeah, it could have been better. We struggled a few times, mostly because they play the Falcons, and the Falcons were super hard to handicap and get a grip on, and those games were just off the rails for no reason whatsoever. I don't understand that. I still don't. I never will. What do you think of the offseason?
Real quick, though, they were an over machine last year.
Yeah.
12-5 in the regular season to the over. And covered against the good teams. A lot of other teams, when they went up against the elite competition, could not play with them. The Bucs could. Always a sign to me at least of a group to keep your eye on. I thought the offseason was pretty uneventful. Going into the process, I would have expected that
my free agent signing section for this team is smaller than almost any other. It's Hassan Reddick and a punter. And as far as needs go, they did have 3 different punters on roster that played last year. Yeah. You needed a good punter. You got Riley Dixon. Hassan Reddick is not moving the needle for me at any given point here. He's 31. He's gonna help the rush. He's gonna help the pass rush, but it's not like a big splashy move. I don't really know what else they had. I mean, besides a lot of it is just depth after that. Those are your 2 big signings. Plus, you had I think you had a nice draft.
Yeah, and
retained Godwin.
I guess the question.
You re-signed Levante David. That's important. Bredesen.
Were you surprised they didn't try to address? Were you surprised they didn't try to address secondary?
I kind of was. They did draft a cornerback in the second round.
Third.
No second round.
Oh yeah, shit.
Benjamin Morrison, Notre Dame,
and the third.
He, ball hawker. They call him a ball hawker. He's going to be that guy. So they actually drafted in the third. And you're correct. I corrected you, but you were actually right as well. Just in the way that you're wrong.
Third.
So they took Jacob Parrish from Kansas State in the third round. Really fast guy, 4.3 kind of speed. I don't think he's quite as big. No, he's 5'9", whereas the Benjamin Morse, he's a 6-footer that can, bigger, longer kind of guy. They're both probably going to see some action because not only are they thin at secondary, they need help. They have a bunch of guys who tend to get hurt a bit. Obviously, we're glossing over the receiver we already talked about, Emeka Egbuka from wide receiver from Ohio State. Very, 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 very high hopes for him already. I mean, he's been a bit of a camp darling, especially because he's being thrust into the spotlight. He has to. And it's funny because you looked at it as, what are they doing? They have all these receivers ready. This is crazy. They're going to take another one right away. And it's funny because it kind of worked out like, well, we're going to need this guy. But he's going to have to play right off the bat. He's wide receiver too.
Super fortuitous in hindsight. Yeah. And I think maybe they obviously knew a little bit more about the timeline for Godwin than any of the rest of us, as they should. And in fact, you want to be critical of anything about the Bucs. I feel like their offseason medical staff deserves a little scrutiny. Murph's getting surgery when he did as late in the cycle was a little bit of a what the hell, guys, couldn't have done this 4 months ago. Godwin, same sort of deal. It didn't feel like his timetable was really as close as they thought he might be back for the playoffs, and ultimately he's not going to be ready for week 1 in the following year. So there was clearly something more serious going on there. But yeah, the decision to draft Egbuka was fortuitous timing for them. It was good for us too because we had a lot of, at least I did, I'm pretty sure you did too, Egbuka under was a very heavy part of my draft portfolio, and it was a surprise. The Bucs took him at 18th. It's like, oh good, not gonna have to sweat that one. So his total was 25.5 or something, and it was literally he was getting mocked right into that range. Good pick by them. By all accounts.
And you never know what they know. That's it. We consider it a luxury pick, but we just didn't have as much information on Godwin as they did apparently.
Of course.
We'll update that stuff as we get to position groups. They also drafted an edge from Central Arkansas that people like. Central Arkansas, of course, being lower level school. Sometimes it's tough to tell, is this FCS player really good or not? Because we've seen plenty of FCS players absolutely make it and make rosters and make meaningful impacts, especially on teams where you need some extra edge rushers. FCS All-American, man. He's going to be a rotational guy with Reddick and Broswell. He drafted another big man in the middle from SMU in the 5th round. I'm not sure on these last 2 guys if they do make the roster. I think maybe Elijah Roberts, the 5th rounder, does because you need some help in the middle more. But Tez Johnson, your 7th rounder, tiny person, 150-pounder, very fast. I don't know if it's if that. Scroll down. Is he listed as one of the returners?
Yes, punt return 1.
He's listed as
PR1.
So this is what I don't know if that's accurate because they list him as punt returner 1 on our lads, but I kind of have him as borderline might not make the squad. I think the fact that they are thin on wide receiver leans towards he will make the roster. But they have, was it Sterling Shepard? He's kind of he's considered wide receiver 3 right now.
Yeah, that checks out. I would say the I guess
so. Good offseason, not great.
Well, I mean, I want to spin that a different direction. Isn't continuity good?
It is.
And obviously, if you just completely ignore your deficiencies and just run it back expecting a different result, that's insane.
Well, no, and sometimes it's just like, no, we believe in you guys.
Yeah.
Jamal Dean, we believe in you. Antoine Winfield, we definitely believe in you.
Sure.
If those guys stay healthy, it's not a bad secondary.
Yeah, McCollum got better over the course of the year. He was better week 18 than he was week 2 by a lot. I guess ultimately, I kind of can't fault them for keeping it together. This was probably the lowest volatility roster of any of them.
And still bringing in rookies to compete for, hey, maybe you're playing. We throw 6 defensive backs out there. We want somebody.
Especially because the guys they're bringing back, they're not that old.
No.
Vontae David is old.
But Vontae David's still very good.
Mike Evans obviously is old.
Yeah, you just named
but other than that, this is a very, very young.
Is that their 3 best players?
Roster. No.
Levante David's very good still.
Yeah, but he's not one of their 3 best players.
Well, I'm throwing Baker out. Quarterbacks don't count. Mike.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we got to throw Bucky out. It's just
Wirfs is their best player.
Right. He's not on the roster.
That's true. Wait, no, didn't they put him on the roster
it's funny.
They put him on the 53?
It's funny. We got that news about Caleb McGarry right before the Falcons podcast. And today, we get the news on Godwin and Wirfs, and it sounds like I had the updates written down. So Godwin off the pup, and from my look, it was expected to start practicing week 2, return to game action around week 5. Which, if you're on it's like, well, what's the difference between that and the pup? The pup is you're not just, I'm back week 5 because I had to take 4 weeks off. It's usually pup, then practice, then it's week 7 you're playing. So it's good news, and obviously McMillan, they're talking post-bye. And then
Wirfs reserve is 4 weeks away from the team.
Wirfs not being pumped is great too. That means week 2, week 3, that'd be awesome.
Can you tell me a little bit about his injury and whether we should be concerned at all about him hitting OT1 level of performance?
What is his age? What do we have for an age?
He was drafted in 2020 in that really, really good tackle draft.
I don't know. It's hard to take it and say this is predictive of another injury or it's predictive of slowing down. It's not the same as a wide receiver really.
This is his age 26 season.
Yeah, it's not the same as a corner or a wide receiver having a bad knee injury and be they lose a 10th off their 40 time and you don't have that burst. You can't separate. You can't hang with fast wide receivers anymore. And it's an offensive lineman. As long as he trusts, he trusts the the right knee.
Yeah, they've been super, super secret about what ultimately was going on. Yeah. The speculation is it's a meniscus, which can get tricky because if they're just trying to repair it and not just take the torn cartilage out, that he's got to stay off of it, which means that he's got a lot of work to do to get up to strength, game strength, game speed. But, I have a very body rating for him, and I would like to confirm that he is the same player that we saw finish last season before kind of going to war with that number. But again, the rest of this offensive line is, again, continuity and youth. You hit on your center last year, who's entering his age 23 season. Your left guard, age 27 season. Your right guard, age 26 season. Your right tackle, age 27 season. These guys are all entering their peak, and I think everyone who would rate offensive lines would tell you at the end of last year this was a top 3 unit, maybe top 5.
I know, it stinks.
I think everyone would say top 5. Many people, I think, would say top 3.
If Wirfs were not injured at all, he's 100% in camp.
Yeah.
This is my number 3 offensive line.
Okay.
It's absolutely up there. Not only because of
behind the Eagles and the Broncos,
the high play of everybody. I think that's where I'm at. I don't have that spreadsheet in front of me. I just have my notes. But I think I had it at 3, and then I had to I started with Wirfs in. I wanted to just do the number with Wirfs playing and then try to decide what the downgrade was for him missing. And obviously we're going to upgrade that back again when he comes back. And still, even with Wirfs out, this is very much above average because everybody else is very good.
Okay. Do we know anything about Wirfs' backup, Charlie Heck?
I mean, he's played.
Okay. Is Baker's blindside vulnerable where he's going to get a season ender in week 3?
And here's the thing, as I talked about with the Grizzler, it's still going to be a lot of running. It's going to be a lot of play action where you're making those guys pause anyway. You're going to be able to try to beat a lot of that stuff off the edge with your overall offensive scheme. It's not a thing where he's dropping back deep 50 times a game. So I think we're going to be okay.
Okay.
I'm more worried about the run blocking.
Okay. I'm asking that because I feel like a lot of Mayfield's success in Tampa.
Crushing it on third downs.
Well, but crushing it on third downs because he has time to get through his progressions and make the optimal decision. Yeah. As opposed to,
I wonder what his average time of throw is. I don't have that.
When it was falling apart for him in Cleveland and when he was just lost in the woods, I felt a lot of that was born out of just in those moments, key plays, he was trying to do too much. Yeah, and he was under duress.
And I think he's grown a lot since then. And I didn't love the offensive coordinator. I didn't love the offensive system. I don't think he had the tools to succeed, and he was young and dumb. He had a little. I worried about that because I'm like, God damn, we got Manziel version 2 here. Is this guy going to be a knob dick too? He's grown up a lot.
Immaturity was pretty clearly on.
Maturity wasn't great. Yeah. I'm obviously a big Baker guy. You know that.
Okay. I mean the end of his tenure in Cleveland was a disaster. Carolina was maybe worse. But you're right. That was like a non-functional team. And then, just a cup of coffee with the Rams before 2 really successful seasons. Now, you have increasingly improved play with the Buccaneers, which makes it interesting to try to get a fair price for his quarterback OC combo. But we'll get to that in a minute after we talk about
because you want to have the schedule. Let's talk about the schedule brought to you by Circa Survivor and Circa Million 7, the biggest, best contest in Las Vegas. Sign up in Nevada, play from anywhere.
Sign up in Nevada, play from anywhere?
Play from anywhere.
Tell you what.
Talk to a proxy. Maybe we should do that this afternoon.
Yeah.
Let's sign up. Let's sign up from Nevada.
In Nevada. We should probably sign up.
Is it Nevada or Nevada? I feel like there's. Is it Nevada? No one's corrected me.
We have had this discussion before, and I feel like I was wrong.
All right, no, I had it with Frank Brank one time because the joke was, well, if it was Nevada, then the offshore sportsbook would be called Bovada.
Yeah.
So it's got to be Nevada because it's Bovada. That's always been the rule of thumb. Although the exception that breaks the rule is the Zags. Because it's Gonzaga, and it should be the Zogs. We will sort all that out. We'll sort it all out later, but we got the schedule up. A little uneven and some tough games. But
it's a first place schedule. It's a first place schedule.
A nice little landing strip, not the kind you're thinking of, pervert, into the playoffs at the end there.
Yeah, chances. I mean,
especially because I'm down as fuck on Miami.
I know, right? Like Miami Week 17, we think they're fielding a competitive team. Who the hell knows? Chances they finish 6-0? 70?
Yeah, I'm saying 50% at least.
I mean, it feels likely.
The Saints could have. Between the Saints, Miami, and winning, turning down the game. I don't know what game means. Not a tech. Consider holding. Yeah, it is getting a little loud here. We'll move the mics a little closer and turn down the gain a little.
All right. The gain is that is the gain.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you. But yeah, the final 6 weeks of the season look like they're going to set you up for heading into the playoffs peak. And the question is, in my mind, when is the right time to bet on this team? Because I do think, to Spencer's question, are we taking Tampa Bay to win the Super Bowl again this year? I think yes. I think there is a time that on the schedule to bet them because I do think they'll have home games. I do think the NFC South goes through Tampa, and I think 2-3 seed feels like the mo outcome for them.
Yeah. It's hard to project this as a 1-seed team just because it's very competitive. And, as much as I love them, there are better teams. But the price is probably right, especially if you want to do some mid-season entry there after the Buffalo game.
Sure.
I think you'll probably have a decent price there. It doesn't seem like a slam dunk. This is a buy later in the season point. It feels like it's very hard to predict. It's hard to predict if it's going to be that much better later in the year.
If I'm betting Tampa, I'm not that scared of Buffalo to where I want to wait until that offense. Buffalo's defense is not good enough that they're for sure keeping Tampa under 30.
Yeah, if you have a healthy wide receiving core at that point, it's not a secondary you're super scared of.
I'm actually more worried about the Rams game the next week just because Stafford owns your defensive coordinator.
Yeah, that's a little sketchy.
And the travel there is nasty of going at Buffalo and then at LA the next week, especially if expectations are high. If you go at Buffalo as 6-point dogs and you win, all of a sudden now all of the attention in the world is on you. You're like a pick 'em at LA against a quarterback who knows exactly how to defeat your system. It's a nice zigzag. It's a nice little bet on, bet against kind of a spot. But all that said, I think the right bet on is probably after that Detroit game, Monday Night Football. Not a great spot going into Detroit. I know you have had success there, but I think Detroit is better than you in a lot of ways, and you're probably going to lose that game. The question is then, are you 3-3? 4-3? Are you 3-4? And what kind of price are we talking about? After that Monday Night Football likely loss at Detroit Week 7 is what I have circled for make a note.
Put in the calendar. I got my calendar open right here. We can do that right now.
It's going to be it'll be October 21st. October 21st. Set a reminder.
We'll have the reminder later.
Set a reminder. Bucs to win the South. Bucs to win the NFC. Probably not. Though.
Baker MVP. Bucky OPOI.
Let's come back on all of the awards thoughts.
Sure. All right. Let's talk in general on the schedule, though. The tough spots are a first place schedule. You're playing Detroit. You're playing Philly. You're playing Buffalo. You're playing the Rams. Those are all playoff teams who won or could have, should have, would have won playoff games. Yeah. Houston, they embarrassed themselves in the playoffs, but they're pretty banged up at that point. That's a weird matchup because you have a very, very good offense, and they have a very, very good defense. So it's kind of like strength on strength, weakness on weakness. Those games can get weird, and it's at Houston, so it's a tough spot for you coming up.
Houston's not scoring.
No, it just feels like can you get to 17 in that spot and win that game? That total's going to be 43. I don't know what it is right now. It's going to be a lower one just because Houston is going to struggle to score. You're up a very good pass rush, and you will not have Wirfs back at that point, I don't believe.
No.
So that's tough. Then you get the Jets at home. You start road, which, again, not great. But you
nice home opener.
Week 3 at Jets. You get the Jets to come to town. You get to blast the Jets at that point, which is nice.
I got to be honest with you. This feels like I'm going to make a weird prediction. You
ready? I'm ready for anything and everything.
3-0.
Okay.
To 3-4.
So Tampa Bay is playing this weekend at home. I was like, God, do they have like a road preseason game? So at least they're at home now before they have to travel. And to be fair, Atlanta's up the road. I mean, it's riding your bike to the neighbor's house. It's not bad.
Tampa to Houston is just across the Gulf of America.
Yeah, it's not. It's the Gulf of Gavin Newsom.
Yeah,
we've changed it again.
Although, circle. Make sure that the hurricane is not impacting your home games against the Jets.
We were a little worried, completely off topic, but I've been watching it a little this morning. We were a little worried about the damn hurricane with the Tour Championship on golf. Atlanta's not that far from the coast. Again, there's another storm, so it's not awful. But then Philly at home, at least you can win that game. You 100% can win that game. It's not some scheduled loss, but it's tough.
I don't love their matchup against Seattle or San Francisco.
Well, and again,
and they have extra. Each of those teams gets extra time to prepare for you.
Extra time versus Seattle, plus it's cross country. And
I kind of think they're losing all 4 of those. I think they're losing all 4. Philly, Seattle,
I don't know. We're not in love with the Niners wide receiver situation.
Yeah, by week 6, that could look a lot different.
It could look a lot different at that point. And then, tough one. That is a tough stretch. Philly, Seattle, San Francisco, Detroit. Feels like you got to go 2-2 there. Otherwise, you're feeling really bad about yourself. You hopefully go to the Superdome and ruin some people's days. You take the bye, playing a young quarterback at home in New England, and then, the tough stretch, Buffalo, LA. And then after that, hopefully 5 or 6 wins.
Build into the close.
Yeah, you win 10, 11 games, you win the South, you get a home game against. Could be a tough team. It could be the Packers, Vikings, Commanders. They're one of the teams in the West that overperforms. If Seattle or LA is a really good team.
Darren makes a great point. Crazy to end with 4 divisional games in their last 5, controlling their own destiny in a very weak division.
You need the calendar to turn over to December. And you need Baker to be feeling dangerous that way. You need him to wake up feeling dangerous. You got to get
road grading, and you
got to be healthy.
Godwin to be adding an X factor, all of it. All right, so here you go. You ready? 3-0 to 3-4. Maybe they just lost to lost to 4 NFC contenders out on this team to 3-0,
5-4,
to 3-0. I'm giving New Orleans, New England, and I'm giving them a win at Buffalo to shock the world. They are for real. They have arrived. 6-4, lost at the Rams 6-5, and then they win in.
Look at Connolly looking up. I guarantee you looked up a special teams coach, Craig Ackerman. I believe that's right. It could be kind of weird at the end there. Yeah, like we said, the Buffalo isn't a bad matchup for their offense.
Weaver's definitely getting the interim job.
I love it. I love Weaver getting the interim job. I wish that were a market. Right now, it's like
I told you
not just first coach fired, but like
the world's dumbest. Coach. I told you I made the world's dumbest bets about the Dolphins, where I have their alt over and I have first coach fired. Bucky 2K. He's my goodness.
I'm going to honestly,
as long as he's healthy down the stretch. Good.
If I have to text Bovada to put that up as a what's your wager kind of thing, I will find a way to bet Bucky 2K. I only have Bucky 1,500 and to lead everybody in rushing at this point, but I want a Bucky 2K number.
All right.
If you were playing the Circa Survivor contest and you were mapping out your entries, you're going to pull up the map, aren't you?
I'm going to pull it up.
Where would you use the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
I'll tell you. I would use them. Sorry.
I was going to say it's 14. It's 3 or 14, right?
It is 14.
14.
Week 14.
Home versus the Saints.
There's literally only one other choice, and it's Baltimore. And I think you almost certainly used Baltimore. And ultimately, Baltimore has a lower win probability than Tampa did. So yeah, it's week 14.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, put that in.
We hate to just give you all the ways to beat us in Survivor, but you know what? You're not entered yet. You got to get out here. You have 2 weeks. How much time do you have? You have until next Saturday-ish to sign up. So you have about a week and a half. It's not that far, buddy. Get on a flight.
It's not that far.
No, you go find it. Really get dirty. I want you to get dirty and fly like Spirit out here. Yeah. Don't even get a hotel room.
Yeah.
Just come out here, sign up for a couple entries. Don't sleep. Gamble for 24 hours. Get on a flight again, and then obviously go get a schwitz. At that point, you need to hit the sauna.
The hardest thing about Survivor, it turns out, is actually week 17 and week 18. You need a specific plan on 17 and 18. And if you've gone through the exercise of trying to map out Survivor, you'll know why I'm saying this.
Yeah.
But there is a specific team that you have to save in case you need to deploy them 17. And if you don't deploy them 17, then they look very good for week 18. And we'll talk about this off the air because we cannot give away all of the juice. I think I don't think Tampa Bay is one of those. I don't think you're going to need them Week 18 versus Carolina, and I also don't think you necessarily want to count on them having all their starters on.
Yeah, while you're out here, get a haircut.
Yes.
Oh, that was a great experience.
I also am going to the barbershop this weekend while I'm out here. Not going to get a haircut.
Oh my God! So I'm getting my haircut. Anyone, if you don't know the barbershop, Cosmo, it's a small barbershop, and there's this door in the back that says janitor.
Yes.
And it opens to a speakeasy. There's a bar back there. And
live music band.
While I'm it's great music every day. A guy walks in and my barber says, "It doesn't open till 8." I'm like, how many times? Because he said it like 3 times at that point. Like, how many times a day do you say that? He's like, too damn much. He's like, all day. There's a big fucking sign outside. He says, yeah, I saw it. So, but if you do get out here, you don't have to get your haircut. But it's a very fun venue. You should check it out at the Cosmo.
I'm going to see the 442s. Really, really good. Like
the Oldsmobile.
80s and 90s cover band.
Yeah.
When we were out there last time, they played just a killer run through of like Guns N' Roses, Foo Fighters.
I like a really well put together cover band.
Bruce Springsteen. It was really.
There's no password. But I think you should say clam chowder anyway.
Password is clam.
One lady did ask, "What's the password?" It's like, "There's no password. Just go to the bar.
Just go in the bar.
Just go in the bar."
I love it.
All right. The week 14, baby. Use them.
Oh, dude, Matthew, don't give. I don't know. I can't believe he's giving it away since he is the team. You have to save them for 17. And if you don't use them 7, if you can find anyone else to use 17,
yeah, if you have someone better.
18. Okay. Well,
and honestly,
spoiler.
All things considered, not the easiest schedule, but there's enough winnable games to very much run away with this division by 2 or 3 games. And I like where your buys at in the middle of the week or the middle of the season too. So decent schedule for a first place schedule. Truthfully,
this looks like 12-5 to me, and I think it's 12-5 with some highs and lows. They give you wonderful opportunities to load up, get some more,
get your toes in.
Get some more.
No, like we've been doing with the Broncos. Wait, what if I bet the Broncos again?
Well, you want all your Broncos preseason.
Yeah, well, that's like every time I win at blackjack, I can just go bet more Broncos. You know what this would look good in? Orange.
Broncos orange. All right, man. Well, that's enough Buccaneers orange. Let's go back to rating. And tell me where you are for QBOC and where does, like, even beyond just what's your
number. I
number.
have my chart, so I had to write it in my notes.
What's your vibe on
Josh Grizzard?
I think it is a very closed pool of potential MVP candidates, and my maybe only quasi-hot take is Baker Mayfield.
He is. He's a top 10 quarterback, and it's borderline top 5. He was 7th in EPA plus CPOE last year, excluding turnovers. He was 5th in just straight up EPA per play, again without taking out turnovers on plays. But he's very close to being that 5th guy. Like when you talk about, there's 4 big ass names that you have to consider for your top 4 quarterbacks. For me, he's number 5. He absolutely is.
Over Daniels.
I think so.
Okay.
I
think 6 through 10.
I don't
maybe
have
6 through 12. You can shuffle in whatever
I don't have
order.
a run rate. I don't have enough. Daniels hasn't done it long enough for me, and I think he's more of an injury risk too. But Baker for me right now, he's number 5.
Wow.
And I mean, you're right. It's like 5 through 10.
It's a cluster.
It is a cluster. It is a cluster. So I have my QBOC number to 6.8.
Okay.
Obviously, if it were still Cohen, it would be higher. I'm saying I have a top 5 quarterback, but I have a brand new OC that has said all the right things. It sounds like continuity, but I haven't seen it yet. So it's a little lower than I think this number is going to be once I get 2 or 3 weeks of, all right, he's handed the ball to Bucky enough.
Okay. For me, it's 6.7. It's behind, very, very narrowly behind the likes of Jaden Daniels, Jalen Hurts, even Brock Purdy. I'm behind him. So I'm like number 9.
Number 9?
I'm number 9. But the gap between Mayfield and the gap between Mayfield and even the 4th best, I don't think is that.
No.
He's the old gun. He's the current new old gunslinger, and if he ultimately takes this team to a number 1 seed in the NFC, then he will get votes for the MVP.
I never really wore a chain. I kind of want to wear a chain now. Like Baker. I seen some at the store the other day. Like, am I a chain guy? Offensive line. Where you at?
6, but with room to go to 8.
Yeah.
And we get a healthy Wirfs that we can count on.
This was a tough number to come up with because, it's my number with Wirfs is an 8. And I pull them out, and I went to a 6.5. It's a hard number to try to figure out, but Mock, however you want to say that, the young guard.
The guy with the teeth?
Yeah, he's been good. Your right tackle's been good. I think Bredderson, that was a good he was re-signed in the offseason. Just the continuity of the other 4. And once you bring Wirfs back, you're solid. But
the fact that you just hit an absolute freaking
Cody Law.
You hit a home run with Barton last year.
Yeah,
it was such a it's a really, really good unit. And youth continuity. We've already covered all this. They're good. Skill group for me is
This is another one too, where this is not the same number in a few weeks. You know,
I'm at a 5 right now, but I'm at a 7 at full strength.
So I feel like I would have been doing myself a disservice if I didn't go high. I just went higher than you on purpose.
Yeah,
because I'm a Bucky man. I think just so Mike Evans isn't hurt yet. He's 100% healthy. He's ready to go. If you have Mike Evans and Bucky Irving, is there a better wide receiver 1, running back 1 outside of Philly? Because Philly's the obvious answer. Is there a better?
Bijan in London is pretty good.
That's pretty good. That's up there. But I mean, just the fact that it is. We should give
Ross,
Jason.
St. Brown, and Gibbs is probably.
That's very, very good. That's very, very good too. I consider it even without the depth right now and talking about the other guys.
Okay.
I consider it a top 5 wide receiver 1, running back 1 combo at this point. Chase and Chase. That's another good one. Very good movement. So I went 6.25 here, even with Godwin and McMillan out, because I like how I think Ibuka steps right in.
Flowers is fun.
And Otten's not bad. You don't have an elite tight end, but you have a very serviceable tight end. You have a decent backup that I hope doesn't see the field very much at running back.
Sure.
And who's the wide receiver I'm missing here at this point? Trey Palmer. Somebody mentioned Trey Palmer. I should give them credit. He can do it. You have the depth to get through this part where Godwin and McMillan.
So where are you at?
6.25.
Okay. I'm itchy trigger finger to go up on that, but I'm at 5 right now. This is my 10th best offense as we enter the season. If we are at full strength for both,
8th for me, and it goes up.
If we are at full strength for both, and I make no adjustment to Baker, this is my 6th best offense.
8th for me, and obviously it probably goes to a similar spot with Godwin coming back, Wirfs coming back, Bucky setting some sort of record for the first 2 weeks of the year.
Oh, that would be great. Him starting out hot would be so killer. All right, defense is also top 10 for me.
It is. So both were 8th. I was 8th and 8th.
Interesting.
8th offense, 8th defense.
I'm 9th on defense. They are at 5.7 for run stop. That has always been the strength of the Todd Bowles defense generally.
You see their run stop win rate?
It's incredible.
It was low.
Yeah. It's incredible that
it doesn't make sense, right?
Yes, it's incredible that it does not.
I had to write that down.
It doesn't jive with.
I didn't have enough time.
And with
I didn't have enough time to wrap my head around that. What's going on? Because they're not. It's like they're not getting off their blocks in the amount of time that ESPN says they're supposed to, but it still doesn't matter because guys are sealing off lanes.
Space.
Guys are sealing the edge. Guys aren't letting people bounce out. They're doing the fundamental stuff to not let you have successful running plays. And they're 31st in run stop win rate, but 6th in run DVOA, 7th in run EPA per play, 8th against in run success rate. So it doesn't really jive.
Stuff like that makes me discount run stop.
No, for sure. It's not
where I'd give it 0.
I'd give it some weight.
I pass rush win rate. That is a factor for me. Run stop
it's tough, right? This
run
is
blocking win rate, run stopping win rate. I don't know what those numbers.
I'm at a 6.9 here.
You're at a 6.9.
So I'm higher than you here. Because I said 6th in DVOA against the run, 7th in run stop EPA per play, 8th in success rate against.
Okay.
While they're not among the elite, they were 8th in yards per attempt against last year. It's definitely above average. This is a top 10 run stop unit for sure. Vita Vea, Yaya Diaby, Levante David, and Winfield, Tyke Smith, Jamal Dean. A lot of the pieces in the secondary who are, they're asked to play closer to the line of scrimmage because we're disguising blitzes, and sometimes those are run fits. Those guys all matter, and they're all a big part of the run stop unit as well.
Okay. What's your pass rush number?
5.9.
Okay, I'm at a 6.7 here. 6.8. Sorry, 6.8 here.
We're gonna end up with the same goddamn
like
number.
Their pressure rate is just awesome. It's what they get out of the
10th in pressure rate.
Yeah, it's what they get out of some of the parts that really impresses me. And while I know you kind of were cool on Hassan Reddick, I'm not.
He helps.
I'm not.
It was a spot where you needed one more guy, and they went and paid someone.
How many snaps did he even play last year? Like, he's pretty fresh. He's pretty fresh.
What did he play, like 3 games? I don't remember.
He played 10, started 2, relatively few snaps. So he's even at his age 31 season. We are not far removed from him being.
Does it say in this one?
Yeah.
It felt like he was like dressing and just like, he played like 5 snaps here. What are we doing?
Total 393 defensive snaps in total.
So
but
half
that's
what you should get.
Well, yeah. That's right.
Yeah, I don't know. He might be situational.
800 to 900.
Maybe with a situational, he'd be 600-700. Anyway,
but I'm not expecting that he is anything other than.
Oh, and again, this is another thing. This is another spot where not only is he additive, but the secondary. Like, you go look at the amount of snaps a normal secondary has in like pass rush compared to what a Todd Bowles or Brian Flores defense has in pass rush.
Yeah.
Because of the blitzes they bring from everywhere. Like, again, this is a spot where all of the D-backs are additive to this. But 11th in pass rush win rate, 10th in pressure rate, 3rd in blitz rate, obviously. That kind of tempers my number a little, because if you are forced to blitz at a top 5 level to get yourself into the top 10 for pressure rate, it's not the same as someone who's doing it before. So I'm a little lower, and I need to see Reddick fit into this defense before I can get it up.
Okay, coverage for me is 4.5.
I'm lower here.
Really?
I don't know, because of the guys they brought in. I'm 3.6.
So part of my reason for being a little high here, I think, is that
I need more
coverage in the NFL sucks right now.
Yeah, it's tough.
Like, if these guys aren't average, who is? Right? Like, maybe I'm not being true to sort of trying to have a historical perspective on this, so that you kind of are correctly recognizing the space across the weeks. But yeah, of like the average ratings I get for every positional group we talk about, coverage for me is the lowest, with the average at 4.4. And I think they're slightly better than average. So I'm at 4.5. I'm at 3.6 here. Just every number that I have for this was not only below average, but a little bit more. And maybe I'm being unfair because of all the injuries. I think maybe I should revisit this one a little and give them a little bit more love, because they're coming in. You know what? They're not actually coming in that healthy in the secondary. Nobody is like out. They have like a bunch of small injuries that are forcing some of these younger guys to play. So maybe I'll leave it until I see it. Winfield needs to bounce back, stay healthy. Dean needs to continue to play at the level he does. We need something out of the rookie in Morrison. What do you have for Kindle Vildor? Never heard of him.
I think he fits into the defense well. It's an aggressive, physical kind of guy, but he's going to play. Like, all these guys are going to have to play, and you're going to need some of those guys to step up, because they can't all be Winfield.
Yeah. Okay. 9th overall defense for me.
8th for me.
Interesting. Again, we get there by different paths, but we ended up in the same place. Intangibles for me. I'm only at 3.5 here. There are obviously some things that are good about Bowles. He's obviously a good leader of men. I worry that he does not have enough variety in his pitches, particularly on his defensive, what he brings to the table for adjustments. And the aggressiveness was a little lackluster, especially once they got a running game going with Bucky Irving. I thought they could have leaned into the aggressiveness. Where are you at?
Yeah, I wish he didn't suck. He can absolutely coordinate a defense. He's doing a lot with a ton of guys that were injured and missing time last year, and he still coordinated a pretty good defense. But I don't love him as a decision maker and as where the buck stops, because I feel like you should just give more freedom to these OCs. Maybe, I mean, dude, read the writing on the wall. Like, your OCs keep getting hired. Just let them do their thing and let them keep bouncing around here. 19th in aggressiveness. I think that was probably apparent. It's higher than I thought it'd be. I gave him a 4 just because he does manage the defense so well, and that's going to be. I think the offense is going to be fine this year. He needs to make sure he gets more out of the defense than maybe what we think we're going to get. Okay. It is on the onus is on him to make this an above-average defense, because that's not a guarantee.
Special teams?
3.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm just listening to you for special teams.
Okay. They were 26th in special teams DVOA. Chase McLaughlin's a good kicker, 30 of 32 last year. But like I said, it was dead last in the league in net punt. They used 3 different punters and they all fucking sucked.
Yep.
They brought in a new guy. Like I said, it was Riley Dixon they brought in this year. Need him to be a little better to bring this number up. Coverage was, a lot of the other stuff was just middle of the pack. Having a good field goal kickers, maybe that should be weighted heavier. I don't spend a lot of time on this. But, maybe that should be upweighted. Like, having a guy who can make 95% plus year kicks is probably pretty big compared to just the other stuff being field position stuff. But, field position matters. Every 10 yards is X amount of, EPA. When you start looking at the punter sucks and we're constantly behind the 8 ball in defense, you need a good punter as well.
Okay. Your total number for the Bucs is what?
I put it at the top. Oh, where did I put it? Oh, here it is. A 3.29 to the good.
Wow.
Where you at?
I'm at 1.9.
What?
Yeah, plus 1.9.
Oh,
market's at plus 1.23.
Where did we diverge on this? Am I looking at? I might have to actually pull my spreadsheet up and look at that.
That's
I have them. Yeah, maybe. Well, I had the Falcons. It's like 5 points difference in the Falcons.
Yeah. I'm at okay. So by the way, if I go with
I'll double check that.
It's because of how down I am with the injuries. If I go with full strength for skill and offensive line, my number is 4.65.
What's your projected wins?
10.6.
See, I'm at 10.4. Something is not something. The end result. We're doing something a little differently. I'm curious because I think everybody probably does something a little differently with that.
At full strength, I have this as a plus 4.16, which is that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, I was gonna say if I put Wirfs back in the fold, we're a better number. No, I'm a 3.29, 10.4 expected wins.
Okay.
It is your 9th best team in the nation. No, that's not right. That's a different number. I get a little. Yeah, that's.
I have them 10.
Because it says Atlanta's 8th. What is that number? Where did they even come from? So I have columns in here. I forget what they were from last year.
All right. Well, whatever the case is, we agree we're both above market on this team. We think that something in the ballpark of 11 and 12 wins is possible, which means that they're going to be in the discussion for some awards, Andy. Todd Bowles, Coach of the Year, probably no. I don't see a Defensive Player of the Year candidate in this group. Offensive Player of the Year, Bucky Irving is a pipe dream, but I'll let you.
We'll play it anyway. It's a fun
one. It's the 2000s.
So again, I think the better bet. OPOI, I will never talk you out of betting an OPOI at a long shot that you love, but I think the better bet would be to lead the league in rushing. His usage rate was spiked at the end of the year. It was like up at 70% for the last game of the playoff game. If they use him even at like a 60 and he doesn't get hurt, he's absolutely going to get in the discussion for most yardage. And the people you're fighting against for that are the guys who had 400 or 500 touches last year, and in Derrick Henry's case, 400 touches for a fucking decade. Like, it's hard to say, like, Saquon's going to be bad this year. He's probably going to be very good, but they might want to use him a little lightly compared to last year if they want to repeat. I don't know if I'd get him the same amount of workload as I did last year. I mean, that's just me. Maybe they just run him into the ground because he's a running back, and the hell with it. We know he's getting another one. But if those guys take a minor step back, it does open the window to somebody, and he's a pretty big number to be your leading rusher.
I think it's a good bet.
Yeah, I like that one. I like that one more than OPOI.
You know why, Andy? Offensive Player of the Year has turned into fantasy football MVP.
Yeah.
And actually,
And if he wants to win that, it isn't just 1,800 yards.
It's being good at the end of the season too.
And it has to be 1,800 yards.
Those really terrible defenses.
He has to he has to get lucky on touchdowns.
Yeah, lucky on touchdowns.
Yeah, he has to have like 15 touchdowns too.
If you're telling me somebody's going to storm this award by piling up fantasy points in week 14, 15, 16, yeah.
I might bet the whole trifecta.
Like that's coming. Anyway,
I might bet the whole
offensive play of the year is crowded. It's a crowded.
That's the problem. Like Bucky Irving, he's your leading rusher. He has 1,856 yards, 11 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He is losing by margin to Chase triple crowning again.
Yeah.
Chase having maybe a 2,000-yard season. Oh, a team that's gonna give up 30 points a game. Chase is gonna have 200 freaking targets. Which is it's gonna be a problem to catch him.
Yeah,
he is proper chalk for a reason.
This always happens. It's his time. It's his turn for Chase right now. That you are fighting up against. You are rowing upstream.
Well, if the Vikings are good, and it's not the same situation because their defense is much better. But Jefferson, he absolutely has another 1,800-yard season in him. There's a few guys on the receiving side, and there's always the possibility of there's two quarterbacks that deserve the MVP, and one of them just gets OPOY because he's not getting MVP, but he had 5,000 yards and 46 touchdowns. What are we going to do? We got to give him something, and then everybody's shit out of luck.
Yeah, I agree. I guess I wanted to make a quick point on awards as we whip around. I do think Baker Mayfield is live, but there's no point in betting Baker Mayfield now. Wait until he has that 4-game losing streak.
Yeah, bet him after that as well.
And bet him. I would say I want to throw a little bit of cold water on one award. I don't think the wide receivers rookie of the year.
And Buccaneers, that's tough. Well, not only it's a crowded. He could have a great year, and a great year might be 800 yards and 7 touchdowns.
Yes.
It's hard because there's so many mouths to feed down there.
If you're telling me he's the co-leader after 4 weeks because of his volume early,
then we're fading him. We're finding somebody else.
That's kind of how this is going to go, right?
Godwin returns, McMillan returns,
Yes.
Bucky is running a lot.
Yes.
They're probably even giving White a bunch.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Or they're not targeting as much because they have 30-point leads in the second half against the terrible NFC South at the
Yeah.
end of the year, right? He's going to tail off.
Yeah,
right?
you just get your last 2 drives are Rashad White heavy because you're up by 15 and it doesn't matter.
I don't think this actually plays into it, but I also would say that the fact that you had history-making seasons from the likes of Puka Nacua, Ryan Thomas Jr., Brock Bowers in the last 2 years, and none of those guys sniffed it.
Yeah.
That should tell you something.
No, Jackson.
It's going to be tough to break.
Honestly, Jackson Dart can win it with 6 games.
Yes, he could.
And not because the Giants are a 6-11 team. He could play 6 games, I'm saying, and win 4 of them late in the season.
And because he's in New York, because he's a quarterback.
We got a quarterback. He's in a huge city, and it looks like he's absolutely going to be the starter next year. He can play the second half of the season, be above average, and just win it.
I agree with that.
It's a silly award.
It's a crowded market. Yeah. It's going to be a very tough call for him. I would steer people away. Just cool your jets on Nick Bucca. That said, if you already bet it or if you want to bet it badly, just do it, and you're corner the market while it gets shorter, and then find another angle.
Yeah.
Once he starts to cool off. All right, division price. I have the Bucs as the 3rd most likely winner of their division, neck and neck really with the Ravens. It's the 2nd most likely winner of their division.
You made it sound like the 3rd most likely to win the South.
Third most likely team to have a playoff spot to have a home playoff game. The most likely team to get a home playoff game is the Buffalo Bills.
There you go, little bull.
The second most is the second. You put the schedule.
He said, "Did they put the schedule up?" And it's right there for him.
It's right there. Yeah. The most likely home team in the home playoff team is the Bills. Second most likely is the Ravens. Very right behind them is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers having a home playoff game. I think it's happening. South is weak. We've talked about it all week. The market price for them is still plus 100. That makes no sense to me.
It should,
My fare, you want to know?
It's like minus 175.
That was the
Really?
exact number
Yeah,
I was going to say.
I did some back. I did some back of the envelope math in Google Sheets this morning. I'm like, because I looked at the same thing. I said, this is got to be minus 150. I'm probably gonna. I don't like betting stuff that isn't long shots on season-long futures. It's the same reason with Bucky. I do think it's probably maybe a bad price for him to only be set at about 1,000 yards rushing. But there's other things I can do with my money than sit it on minus 110 bets for 8 months.
Right. It's money that you're not putting into
everything
else.
I can do, you know what I can do with that money?
You're reducing your bankroll for no
You know what I can do with that money?
Yeah.
Sign up for Circa Survivor.
That's right. All right. Well, you're only going to need one entry to win.
Well,
we'll get a couple.
The other ones are just for fun.
We'll sell those.
You know what'd be really fun?
Sell those.
Is to
and then we'll double.
They have 2 entries at the end that are both live. What do they do? We're just being cocky and bullshitting here, but I wonder what would they do if there were 2 live entries, but it was the same person. Do they just call, or do they make that guy play against himself?
They make him play.
I'd make him play against somebody. You got to choose.
Absolutely. The funny thing would be,
I try to keep winning. Oh, look at we got a millionaire blazer.
Oh yeah, look at that guy.
Actually,
Blue blazer.
Blue blazer.
Beautiful.
A blue blazer just walked by.
Oh, look at that.
Dervify. It's
dude. I didn't know that they customized
cool, right?
it.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah, good on them.
I love that.
That's a great looking jacket.
Here.
Can't wait to get one.
Get in the background. Put it on and get behind it.
You want me to get in?
Yeah, get in here. Look at that. We got
We're
2021
winding down, so
millionaire
it's a good
winner.
time.
Kind of crouched down and getting the camera here. Dervify. A legitimate millionaire winner. Yeah, we can't see him because he's people.
Should people enter the contest?
Ooh, that's a different one, man. Right? We had a conversation.
Obviously. Yeah.
So, you're going to run as hot as you have in your entire life and hit it 60% and not cash.
Just do it.
Okay?
That's happening.
The nice thing too about the millionaire is you can win. You can just run hot for a month or half.
Absolutely.
Win a quarter.
I think 2 years ago I hit 62% in the contest.
Oh my God.
And it was good enough for like 76 points.
And
I did not get my full.
We had the schedule on the screen.
Oh, yeah.
We could see him on the preview. We're assholes. I had the schedule up.
You
so
just
they couldn't
introduced
see
me
him.
with the schedule.
They couldn't see him.
Oh.
Everybody's saying it in the chat. I'm just rambling.
Oh,
on
you
here.
put the.
I had the schedule. All right, so I was
wasn't
shake
paying
hands with the millionaire.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah,
well
good
done.
to see you guys.
Well done. All right. So Tampa.
And we're gonna one up Derpify.
Tampa, real quick.
We're gonna have a billion. We had a millionaire on the show today. Tomorrow, billionaire.
Billionaire with a B. Oh, that's exciting. Conference price for the Bucs, I just want to mention, is 14-1. Again, because of the sequencing of the schedule, not touching a conference or Super Bowl price until October 21st. Put it on your calendar. And honestly, at that point, if you can get like a 25 or a 30, which I feel like you could after they've lost 4 consecutive NFC games, that feels like a good bet. Super Bowl price right now is 25-1. So actually, there's some 30-1s about.
Good to minus.
I want to get in like the 50 to 60.
Yeah, when I think that October date you put in place, I am putting that in the calendar to just maybe we come out here and fire on something.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, if we're still.
You might still be here.
We're still. I may still just be here, guys.
Now that you know where to get your haircut.
I miss my family, but honestly, I just love it here. I love the smell of Vegas.
All right.
Not all of the smells, but
some of them.
Yeah, most of them.
Win total for me is an over.
Yeah.
I think all overs are kind of interesting, but again, I'm keeping my powder dry. I'm waiting to get in on a 30-1 price for NFC. 30-1 NFC price for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, October 31st is going to be one of the most fun bets of the entire calendar.
Love it.
That's my final thought. Hit
See
the
you guys.
music.
Hit the music.
Almost.
We went a little long, but we're having
it's
fun.
Thursday into August. There's a lot of people on vacation.
We might do an extra show tomorrow.
We had an awesome attendance.
Yeah.
Did you
I retweeted it. I retweeted it. So get a little extra bonus on the Twitter feed. So hey, thanks a lot, guys. Yeah, chicken burrito. I haven't been eating a little more than I like to out here, but it's hard not to because the restaurants are so good.
Yeah,
I will.
I feel like I gotta stand up on camera and give people the true sense of my awesome hike.
We'll do a picture later. We'll do a hike comparison. Hit the thumbs up in the YouTube. Join the Circa Survivor. Rate, review, subscribe, retweet. Love everybody. See you tomorrow.
And thank you to Circa.
Thank you to Circa, Derek, and everybody else.